All right, here we go. I'm jumping straight into chapter 7. I'm gonna break these videos up a little bit in time. I'm still recovering from a medical procedure. Everything went great, but I'm still like in recovery mode. But I want to get these videos out for everybody. So here we go. Right. Plus, we're getting into the holidays. Can't ignore that, right? Got to spend time with the fam. Okay, so freedom. This is one of my favorite subjects. I'm gonna try and stay off my box. It'll probably be impossible, but this is the whole reason why I day trade, why I hustle, why I own a couple of businesses, and why I still work full time. Right? Is because there is a freedom that I'm working towards that I want. Okay, so let's get into it. Hauser argues that the highest dividend money pays is freedom, the ability to control your own time. People often think money buys stuff, status, or comfort, but the real goal is autonomy, the power to wake up and decide how you're going to spend your day. Once you define your life on your own terms, you're rich in the deepest sense. Okay. This is my entire goal. Okay. This is my entire goal. Like, I can't express, like, all of my day trading profits have really gone into like paying off mortgage early, right? Paying off a car early, having zero credit card debt. Those kinds of things are so important to me because if you're a debtor, if you're in debt, you're a slave to your lender, right? And that's the way I feel. And so, like, I'm not like completely debt free, but I am really close, right? And so I just want to finish that off because the highest dividend pays, the money pays, is it to me is freedom. It's not about the money. It's not about a Lambo. It's not about a $50,000 watch. Like, that's the, like, to me, I'm like, who cares about that stuff? It's about freedom. Okay. And so I want to touch on a subject. It's a little bit of a rabbit trail. I just said I wouldn't get on a box, but I lied to you. So here we go. Okay. When you come into day trading, everybody wants financial freedom, right? And they want to work when they want and do what they want. So you come in with the freedom mindset of day trading. And then what do you find out? What's the first thing you learn about day trading? You can't be free. You have to be strict and stuck to a set of rules, right? Your strategy. And I think that's what happens to people is they just want to come in, they want to learn how to read the market so they can make a decision and be like, let me look at the market. Yeah, we going up. I'm going long. And then they go long and then they're like, yeah, I made money. Then they're like, oh, well, it looks like we're going to retrace. They're calling where the market's going to go. And so they want that freedom in their mind to do that. And I've just never seen that work like for people in the long run. And when you talk to people who really do this all the time on a professional level, they have a strategy. They have a system that they follow. And yes, it has rules. And yes, there's no one to enforce those rules but you. Like, I'm the only one who can make myself follow my rules. So that part you got to shake off. You got to shake that off and be like, okay, I don't have full autonomy and freedom in the market. I need to come in and be disciplined and, follow a strategy and follow rules, keep my composure, keep my emotions in check. Don't allow myself to revenge trade. Guys, that's a lot of fences. That's a lot of barriers. That's a lot of, I need to follow this. I need to do. Okay. So that's just a reality check for people. And one that I had that was a very heavy reality check because I was definitely coming in for that freedom. Okay. But the beautiful thing is you eventually learn through experience that those rules and that system and that strategy, that's what gives you the freedom that you're going for. All right. So key themes. Time is the ultimate currency. Being able to say, I don't have to do this is more valuable than luxury. I agree. Money creates choice and choice creates peace. 100%. Okay, so control over your time equals happiness. I so agree with this stuff. When you have to do something a lot of times, you get grumpy. Now, you can choose your excuse me, you can choose your mindset. You can choose how you're going to respond and like you can choose your attitude. All right? But when you have complete control over your time, you're happy. You get to do what you want. Be like, "All right, because of this, I'm going to do this." Can't put that in front of the light. You won't be able to see my beautiful face. There we go. All right. So control of your time does equal happiness. Okay. Studies show that the strongest predictor of life satisfaction is having control over your schedule. Lack of control creates stress, resentment, and burnout. All right. So you got to take time to touch grass. You got to take time to get away. All right. The hidden reason people want money, most people don't want money. They want what they believe money will give them, which is freedom. Okay. Wealth isn't about flexing, in my opinion. And I agree with this 100%, guys. This is where I am on board with this book. Okay. Freedom is quiet. Flexing is loud. People get trapped in chasing loud versions instead of the valuable one, right? People want that Ferrari or that Lambo for status. They want to flex. They want to say, look at my $10,000, $50,000. I know that's not an expensive watch, but to me, that's a crazy expensive watch. I'll go to Walmart. I'll spend. Actually, when I was a surfer, I used to wear a watch that had like the moon tides and stuff like that on it, so that way I can see when high tide, low tide. It had a little information. I think I spent like $110 on it, which was a decent watch, right? But it definitely wasn't like, let me flex this watch. Look at my watch. Some people were like, yeah, it's a nice watch. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. But it wasn't like a flex. It wasn't like, dude, that's a Rolex or that's a this or that's a, 10,000, 50,000. To me, it's just a waste in the flex. So controlling your time is the highest form of wealth. All right. The ability to do what you want, when you want, with whom you want is priceless. Okay. The more you control over your time defines your true wealth. Okay, more than your salary, control over your time defines your wealth. Right now, I am still in like go mode. I am still in like what do you want to call it? Grit, right? I've got a couple businesses, I've got a full-time job, and I would consider myself a full-time day trader as well. Why am I doing that? Right? Because I want to smoke my mortgage, right? I want to continue having zero car payments. I want to continue having zero credit card. I want to continue having zero any other debt, right? Because I want freedom. Now, once that's achieved, I'm going to have a lot more options to decide what I want to do, right? I'm not going to be like, oh, well, my mortgage is gone. Now what? Well, I really probably don't have to work as much as I do right now, which I have a very balanced lifestyle. I'm not going to complain about it whatsoever. I've really narrowed down my day trading that I can literally do it simultaneously while I work because I follow a system and I trust that system. And that system to me is it's not emotionally heavy. I just follow the system. I just make the trades, right? And a lot of that process is actually automated. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, let's go. Okay. But I can't express the pain in the years it took to get there. So I don't want to undermine, day trading at all. I've just gotten to the point where I can probably spend maybe 10 minutes of brain power in the market, and that's enough for me to follow my plan and execute my trades and do well. Okay. So key takeaways. Money's best return is autonomy, not consumption. Okay. The Lambo is not going to make you happy. What is going to make you happy is that you don't have to go to work to pay for your Lambo, right? Or you don't have to go to work to pay for your Toyota 4Runner, or you don't have to go to work to pay for your paid off Toyota Camry, right? Seriously, that's the kind of stuff that can, that gives you that autonomy, right? That gives you that freedom and that sense of like not stressed. Like, if you have like a crazy expensive house and you've got a giant mortgage and you've got a Humvee and you look rich from the outside, but if you miss a paycheck or something, you're going to get smoked. They're going to come take it. That's stressful, man. That is stressful. Okay. All right. If your life is packed with obligations, debt, no amount of money will feel like wealth. So when you're covered in debt and you have like full-time jobs that are just killing you, that's a lot of obligation to live up to. Okay. You throw some, a few unwanted things or, a few surprises that life always throws us in there, can become very stressful. Okay. And if you're there, I definitely feel for you. And, just keep pushing through and keep focused and just keep it'll all work out in the long run. Okay. So build a lifestyle that prioritizes freedom over luxury. You'll never see me go in and be like, hey, I want to buy a car. How much can I qualify for? Oh, well, you can get this one. Okay, so what's that payment? Oh, that's $789 a month. What do you have on the car lot that I can buy? Okay, that's going to be my attitude because I want that freedom. Okay. All right. Time you control is worth more than money you flaunt. 100%. Okay. So reflection questions. Where in your life do you feel the least control over your time? All right. How would life change if you gained 20% more schedule freedom? It's huge. Does your financial plan aim for freedom or lifestyle pressure? Okay. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to flex? I'll share one story. This was like 22 years ago. So you have to understand, you got to take inflation out. 22 years ago, I almost bought a $70,000 truck with a Viper motor. It was like that's why I came up with that number, because it was a real thing. It was like $789 a month. And I was going to be a baller in this truck that had I think it had 1,100 foot-pounds of torque and almost 800 horsepower. Like, this truck was gnarly. And I was signing paperwork for it. And then it just dawned on me. I was like, this thing's more, it was the same as my mortgage roughly. And I was like, what am I doing? And I ended up walking out. I was so thankful I did, because I guaranteed the thing would have gotten repoed or something later. But imagine the obligation I would have been putting on myself, and imagine the lifestyle pressure, right? Because now I'm flaunting this thing and people are like, bro, this cat's got money. And I'm like, no, I don't, because I pay my second mortgage on my truck every month. Like, I wouldn't have had money. I mean, I probably could have swung it, but I would have been broke as a joke, man. I'd have been borrowing money for gas just so people could ride in it and feel cool. It'd have been crazy. So, I mean, you really got to focus on this kind of stuff. All right. So plan for that freedom. Don't plan to create lifestyle pressure on yourself, especially just to flex. All right. What's one obligation you can remove this month? If you have a small credit card, and I know this is getting a little off topic from day trading, but if you have a small credit card that you can smoke, like $500-$600 credit card that you can just smoke it and tear it up, do it. Okay. All right. Moving on. I won't get into all this financial stuff. All right. I fixed this stuff here, but it's whatever. Who cares? Okay. So here we go. Design a routine that doesn't drain your entire day. Okay. Like I just said, I literally spend maybe 10 minutes of brain power in the market, right? Following my orb style sessions and executions that I do. It's that easy at this point. Okay. So, design your routine, design your, things around you so it doesn't drain your entire day. Some people want to become super scalpers and they're on their computers for 14 hours a day scalping. And I'm like, that's the first thing I recommend. I'm like, dude, one thing I learned about me is this decision fatigue sits in about an hour to 2 hours. So at most I would sit down and scalp the 5-second time frame for an hour and a half, and I was done. I would walk away, right? Because it was almost guaranteed if I was profitable, I'd give it back 100%. Okay. All right. So aim for income and consistency that buys time and freedom, not an endless grind. Okay. So that's another thing, right? A lot of people are like, well, I'm trying to do day trading. I'm trying to do this. I'm like, do you have anything else that you can create a small side hustle income for, and then you can roll some of that into your day trading, right? Because most people I've worked with, it takes a long time. It's not like an immediate flip of the switch. It's like, oh, dang, I learned the golden strategy. Now I'm profitable immediately. It's usually not like that. It takes time. So while you're doing that, relieve some pressure off yourself. Take that mental, some of the best traders I know, they have no financial worries, period. So their day trading does not put bread on their table. And that's just the truth. A lot of people are like, I want this to be my only full-time job. I understand that. But you have to understand how much mental pressure you're immediately putting on yourself, because day trading is not consistent a lot of times. Yes, you find a consistent groove, but like I just said, could you imagine being flat for 3 months in your day trading? You didn't lose your account. You didn't make money. You technically didn't lose money, but you were flat for 3 months. That's a lot of financial pressure, right? Why do that? Get a side hustle and start day trading on top of it. That's my opinion. All right, here we go. Sorry. Getting on the boxes. Okay. Avoid increasing expenses that trap you in long hours and extra jobs. So, the one thing I want to say here is if you are trading prop firms, okay, or funding an account, and then you blow your money immediately or very quickly, or you gain a little and then you blow it, and then you just reset the account and you buy resets, and then you buy more prop firms, and then you get funded and then you blow them, or you buy it and then you got to break that. Okay. You're creating a financial burden rather than creating something that makes you money. Okay. And this is a cycle I've seen with many traders. It's one that I went through as well, right? Where you pay for these resets. Dude, anybody can go and buy a funded account. I'm sorry, a combined, and then just YOLO, and then just reset it until the YOLO makes them lucky and they get a couple trades in a row and then they're funded. Easy peasy. If all it was to show you a funded cert, I could get a funded cert from any company out there, and I could do it not following any I could get funded not following any strategies. Okay. The issue is there is no consistency in that in long term. You can gamble your way to being funded, right? And same with your own account. I could put $500 in, and then I could get lucky and turn that into thousands of dollars and look like a guru. And then, I won't show you the next week or two because the account's gone. So you need to aim for income and consistency. And so this is where I say day trading is like a business. If you have a side hustle and you're putting together what I'll do is I'll invest $200 a month in my day trading. So I'll get 2 to 4 combines a month. I'll allow myself maybe one reset, and then I'll trade those accounts, right? Or get yourself one account and you allow yourself a couple resets. But then you're not creating this endless grind of just it's okay. These prop firms, this is how they bankroll, right? As people get stuck in this rut. Okay. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Drop in the Discord. We'll talk about it. I'll help walk you through it, create a plan, get you trading prop firms without, getting stuck into this cycle where you are funding them. Okay. We want them funding you. All right. Avoid increases in expenses that trap you in long extra hours or extra jobs. Okay. If you have some fancy, crazy, expensive psycho car, why not sell it and then take that money and invest it long term, take a portion of it and go start day trading, whatever, right? Seriously, why not? Okay, so use trading to create optionality, not dependency. Okay, so what you're doing here is you're using, all right, this is pretty much exactly what I just said. All right, so I just want to leave it at that. Don't get stuck funding these prop firms or funding these exchanges that you're putting $1,000 on. You make $1,500 on it and then you smoke the whole account, right? You're doing nothing but creating a dependency, right? You have to depend on something else to keep funding your day trading. And that's what I think is the first thing that needs to break. All right. So I hope this has been super helpful for you. I think I'm going to make one more video today. So look for chapter 7 to come out soon. And I think after that, soon after the holidays, we're going to be going back full force on all this stuff, man. And it's going to be fun. So thank you guys for watching this video. Like, subscribe, and share, especially if you think there's someone out there that could hear all this and it would be encouraging to them. So I'll see you in the next video.